Hello and welcome to the Pentecostal Church here in Ljusdal. I should probably warn them for Zionist infiltration. So Pingstkyrkan. We are on Tingsgatan, the street of the Ting. And Ting is Swedish for a thing. But it's also the old gatherings that the Vikings and the medieval people did when they gathered for either political reasons and for legal dispute, and then they did judgment and political deals. So in Norway, their parliament is called Stortinget, but in Swedish, ting means the local court. And with that Swedish lesson, we will enlighten some other of your blind spots and see the Zionist collapse and how dangerous they are. But let's start by taking a big, deep Tingsgatan breath. Did it smell Pentecostal? I don't know. It smells autumn. We'll come to that in the end. So I have been now sending pseudo live streams on 5 different platforms. So I use Rumble Studio. It's a little bit annoying that it doesn't crop the first 48 seconds, the upstart time. So that's a little bit annoying. On the other hand, I only have to upload twice instead of 5 times. So if you are interested in uploading to these platforms, it's very easy and straightforward to upload to YouTube and Rumble at the same time. You have to use, as I said, Rumble Studio, not Rumble Live. 2 different platforms. So Rumble Studio, and then you can add X, which I can't for obvious reasons. And Facebook, you can select even to broadcast to your profile. I didn't manage to do that with the uploads from Rumble, but now I can directly mirror it to my Facebook profile that has 4,000 followers. And the only problem is that it gets marked as private. I think I changed the setting now, so it might be possible that you are watching me pseudo live on Facebook. So it's a little bit more visible for people who are following me but are not watching every episode. So it might be good with these live events. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. You also have to set up both BitChute and Odyssey and use these long, complicated codes. But you just have to create the live event, and then you go in to Rumble Studio, set it up. But then afterwards, you have to edit on Odyssey. BitChute, you don't have to do anything afterwards, but on Odyssey, you have to edit it. On BitChute, you get a new key every time, and on Odyssey, you can use the same key, but then you have to tell Odyssey that you're done with your broadcast now and publish it as a recorded live broadcast. But I still upload to Brighteon and to Minds. The problem is that I can't upload while the video is playing, so that's another misfeature, I think. I also noticed that I can interview people on Rumble Studio, so that's like using StreamYard. So you can just use your own browser. You don't have to have Ops Studio or some other program, so you can just go into their site and run it from your web browser, and then you can have guests and stuff and broadcast to a lot of different platforms. So I will try that out sometime. maybe today. On Getter, I'm 100% smaller on X than I am on Getter now. I've got 4,000 views the last 30 months, and I was not using it much at all until some week ago. So we'll see if Getter will be useful. But they have some interesting Getter points. I have applied to get them. So then you get points every time you do something and people are viewing and liking your posts. And you can't sell them, but you can give away those points, and I assume that you can post your posts and give to others. You can't buy them yet, and they are illegal to trade these Getter points. So we'll see if it's something good, but a little bit interesting at least. I have no idea how to get verified on Getter. I know how to pay to Gab, but I can't get much views on Gab, unfortunately. And there are so many Zionists that are very fun to bash on Getter. They are often not used to that. And a comment from James Jeffersonville that said that it's a bad idea to pretend to be a Jew because the Jewish mafia will lose. So if you are pretending to be one of them, you might be on the losing side. Yeah, it looks like that. Maybe Laura Lummer did the right thing, but she might have, if it's true that she's definitely not Jewish, maybe she made the wrong move into the losing side. I was, of course, not serious that anyone should be pretending to be a Jew, but it's, well, any interesting op to try at least and speculate with. I can't pretend to be anything. The only time I was successful when it comes to Texas Hold'em, you know, where you get two cards and you should pretend that they are really bad and then they are really good and then you win. I was really good at pretending exactly that I didn't have the cards I had because I calculated totally wrong the odds. So I thought I had crappy cards when they were really good and the opposite. And then everyone, my friends, could read me and then they got fooled because, well, I was fooling myself and then them. So that's stopped working when I learned the game. But I'm bad at lying, that's all I want to say. USA are losing jobs in October. 153,000 jobs are exterminated or lost. So Health Ranger, the owner of Brighteon, he is speculating that about 25% of this is AI, and then the general costs of everything has gone up. So you have so-called inflation, or at least increased prices, and, well, people are earning less money. And that accounts for half of the jobs lost. Less consumer spending, basically. And then you have these tariffs that are causing havoc, and companies have to shut down. Some other have to expand, of course, but a lot of supply chains have been broken. The trend here is clear that there will be technology and AI that will make people lose their jobs. But AI in the long term should be able to match every worker with a work. Even if you are pretty useless person, there is probably a job that you can do. You just have to find it, or find it basically. And that should be possible with AI. That could be a great matchmaker. And if you want to know anything about how workplaces and companies work, you should listen to Scott Adams. He has gotten more information than anyone in the world about this. Every day for decades, people are emailing histories about what happened in their working place. And he has developed a Dilbert filter. So when you hear that 25% of the people are laid off because of AI, this is how it works in the real world. You're a CEO and your company is not doing great because you suck. You are not doing a good job as a CEO, so you have to cut down. And then you cut down all these people that are no longer needed because, well, your business is going very bad. And then you say, yeah, we cut down our staff, and that's because AI. So we become a better version of ourselves because we're using AI. And AI had nothing to do with it. They are just saying that thanks to AI, we can fire people. But they had to fire people anyway because the business is not going well. But they can't say that. So I think that's what's happening now. AI is not making anything more efficient now. There will be solutions that actually work, but nowadays it's more like, oh, let's ask AI about this, and then you have to correct AI and you have to figure out how it works, and it takes 10 times longer than if you had done it the traditional way or not done it at all. Are you irritated on Google's AI bullshit? There is a site that is pretty slow, but it's called udm14.com, and there you can do Google searches without all that AI bullshit. I don't use Google. Sometimes when I want to see what Google is up to, I use Google, and sometimes when I don't find something, I might use Google. But generally I use Brave. If I want to search for images, DuckDuckGo is better. Better interface and better images in general. And if I want to find something about medical or Jewish conspiracies, then you have to use Yandex. It's illegal to deny the Holocaust, the fake one, in Russia, but Yandex, as a Russian company, still managed to do that. They at least link to pages that are questioning the unholy narrative and the Jewish lies. So, by the way, when it comes to job and AI, I will ask Grok if it can find some jobs for me. I seriously need some monies, and it's unless you share and like this a lot, so I get more viewers. I'm in deep shit trouble, economically speaking, and I don't have time to search for a job. So I hope AI can do that for me. I will report about that when I have tried it. Sensitive young fascist. He is a nice little troll. So he's trolling here and saying that this girl with the big boobs and great jeans, she was making commercials for jeans. Sweetney, I don't remember her name and I forgot to write it down. But he says that this troll is saying that she sees some problems with the Holocaust and how they managed to kill that many people, and the narrative doesn't make sense. I don't think she said that. Maybe she did. That would be awesome. But if you spread correct information and doubts about these insane lies about lampshades and gas chambers, people will start to notice. So it's a good trolling, and I always call that out. Sam Altman, the guy who is suspected to have raped his sister, he is running OpenAI. He's a Jew, of course. And he created AI for the sole reason to enslave you, to steer the propaganda and do better censorship. That's what they are doing in OpenAI. That's their focus, it seems. But he doesn't need any bailout. No bailout is needed. They are doing great. They just need a lot of subsidies. So I've linked an article from Zero Hedge that is pointing at the obvious. When the Jewish gangsters want to enslave you under propaganda, of course you should pay for it, the taxpayers. And another obvious thing, if you want to have AI, you need to have cheap electricity. And we have a lot of politicians in the Western world especially that don't focus on having cheap electricity. For example, Alaska is insanely stupid. They have enormous resources and they have very bad grid, and they are not investing in the infrastructure for that. They do invest in oil and stuff, but they should have cheaper electricity than Norway, but they don't. So we need to push the governments to focus on cheaper electricity and cheaper heating here, as I talked about yesterday. Do you want to know more about Epstein, Israel and the Ivory Coast? Yep, I have talked about how Israeli terrorists and their connections in Africa, how they are running around and doing organized crime. But they also turned the Ivory Coast into a police state. So this is from Drop Site News, that I find very credible publication. So it's not I find them credible. That's my opinion. Eric Trump and Lara Trump. I consider them as the most honest in the Trump family, actually. And everyone loves Lara and her fight for, fixing all the bullshit in the Republican Party. And Eric Trump, I trust him way more than Don Jr. That is, I will not say. I leave it with Eric. But he got really uncomfortable, and Lara Trump also, when he get good questions about why Israel is treating the president as vermin, basically, and make a total fool out of Trump, and his entire administration is beaten into their shoes, beaten bloody by the behavior of Netanyahu. So he got a question that involves USS Liberty that got attacked by Israel in the 1960s. And Lara and Eric Trump, they tried to defend their father, of course, because they are loyal, but they couldn't. You have to lie like a Ben Shapiro if you want to defend Israel, and therefore Trump also. So they tried to say that, isn't it good that Iran didn't get nukes? And of course you have to point out, as this very well-spoken questionnaire said, Israel has nukes and they don't allow inspections, while Iran allows that. So Israel is a terrorist state, and it's getting ever harder, and sooner or later Trump has to have an exit plan how to end Israel, basically. Tucker Carlson is interviewing interesting people. I haven't watched the interview yet, but it talks about how Zelensky is hating Jesus and prosecuting people in Ukraine. And Ted Cruz, who is very into, Christians in Nigeria, because that's what the unholy narrative is telling him, but not in Ukraine. And you have Israel's connections with Azerbaijan, And of course, they will talk about the truth about the Christians in Nigeria, and you can guess that there are Israeli terrorists behind that. They are doing a global war against Christians and against Muslims also, of course, because that's what they do. Turkey has issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu and for Israel Katz and some others. I don't think this means anything, but I find it a little bit interesting at least. Israel, they have been paying ChatGPT and Cloud, another chatbot, so the Israel pay them to shape their narratives. So it was from the Israeli publication Haaretz that said that they have governmental contracts to do evil stuff for Israel. Ben Shapiro, he has been lying about Candace Owens, saying that Candace Owens blames the wife, Erika Kirk, for the murder of her husband, and of course Candace Owens did not do that. That's ridiculous. But then Ben Shapiro tried to force Megyn Kelly to say that she has to disavow Candace Owens because Candace Owens did this horrible thing that she didn't do. And of course, Megyn Kelly said that if that's true, maybe, I don't think it's true. So good on Megyn Kelly. And she was a Zionist. And the Zionists are treating her like a slave that should be beaten up so that she works harder for Israel. And of course, she doesn't like that. They are driving away everyone. And Megyn Kelly has also said this to Tucker Carlson. They are insufferable. And Ben Shapiro, every time he says anything in the future, just bring up that he lied in this horrible psychological warfare. And you hear some cheering in the crowds at this time. Of course, these were people paid by the Jewish mafia to make it sound like the idiotic things that Ben Shapiro said had anything was a good thing. It was completely lying, evil, and luckily also extremely stupid, retarded. Another really retarded argument. It shows this Zoran Mamdani as a wolf under a sheep costume. Like he's coming there and turning everything into Muslim, communism, Nazism, something. Yeah, so that is a horrible argument. And I can tell you a little bit more about that. So there is a Fabian society that has this symbol of a wolf in sheep clothing. That's their logo. They are proud of this. And they have members like Keir Starmer, Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, a Muslim, and Tony Blair is their most prominent member. Tony Blair made an institute, the Blair Institute, that was financed and is financed by Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is IDF's biggest donor. So you have this left-wing Labour politician and globalist communist, and he is closely allied with the Zionist, anti-woke, anti-leftist. Yeah, so that's your globalist, Zionist, communists of both flavors. And to continue with Zoran Mamdani, he is actually not connected to Fabian society at all. So he's a democratic socialist in USA, and he has a father that has been in universities and everywhere in the British Empire where the Fabian Society has been or is active, but he has no direct connections to Fabian Society. So the meme is simply very misleading. But now you have enlightened some blind spots about it. And Grok is totally denying, when I made Grok fact check and spell checked this, Grok is denying that there is any connection between the Fabian Society and these neocon Zionists, even though Grok confirmed that Larry Ellison is the biggest donor to IDF and to the Blair Institute. And Larry Ellison is owning 10% of Grok, as he is a 10% owner of XAI. So maybe Grok don't want to frame him as a communist globalist, as he is, except for a genocidal Jewish supremacist vermin. Maria Corina Machado, the Nobel Prize winner in physics. It must be, because she's declaring war on her own country and want it bombed. So she can't be a peace prize winner, can she? But she is. And this General Mike Flynn, I really hope this is a psyop that he's doing, because he's saying ridiculous stuff. And Don Jr. seems to be on his side, saying that, Venezuela will be great when Maria Corina Machado takes over the regime, and then a lot of investments and prosperity will come to Venezuela. Not even Maria Corina Machado believes that she will bring prosperity to Venezuela. That's not a thing. That's total fantasy, like all the mines that USA opened in Afghanistan, for example. This is complete bullshit. Mike Flynn knows it. Don Jr., I don't know if he knows it. Mike Flynn knows it, but why is he spreading this? I want to believe that he's doing this for a good reason. I can't find out why. In Finland, they have released Never Alone. So this is a Chandler's List lying Jewish propaganda movie, so-called documentary. Totally true. Everything in it is super true, because Jews have been saying it. So they have released that. I complained about that. Maybe you should not trust these people that are lying about everything else. And I complained on Facebook. That is not banning me. Facebook did ban without any kind of excuse. The party leader, Daniel Sonesson, so he's the party leader of the biggest party outside of the parliament. So this is a pro-NATO but anti-woke right-wing party. So it's like, establishment, more right-wing liberals, basically. And they don't know why he was banned. And he has actually involved the Swedish Säpo, our secret service, and says that foreign powers or whatever terrorists are destroying our democracy. So we'll see what happens there. And X, finally, after 28 days, they responded to my appeal and said that, no, now I'm no longer a bot, actually. This time I have broken the X rules multiple times. And they can't say which rules and which exact posts. Just multiple times. I had no complaints whatsoever. I had a lot of posts hidden, but that was, long before. And none of them were proven to break any rules. They were suspected to break rules and got hidden, but stayed on the platform. So they are lying. They know that they are lying. They are Zionist, communists, and that's not the reason why Facebook was banning Daniel Sonesson. But I have to say thank you for Facebook that treat me well. X not so much. And the same for Daniel Sonesson. He pays to Facebook to be, get verified. I don't do that. Maybe I should. But I don't trust Facebook, even if they have been kind to me, especially not now. So we'll see what happens there. But finally, winter is coming. It's getting colder and very chilly. So I have linked to a video where you can see some nice summer images. The sun is shining and it's just minus 62 Celsius. This is from Antarctica, where they have not very warm summers, but it's sunny and good weather in this summer video from Antarctica. So with that, stay warm, stay awesome, and see you for a spiritual Sunday tomorrow.